Mr. Sanjiv Bhasin is also joining us to talk to us about his stock ideas because that's something that has always been making you good money. Mr. Bhasin, I'll come to those stock ideas, but before that, I wanted to begin by discussing what's happening at Hindalco Novelis. What's your take on the recent news flow about Novelis looking at perhaps an IPO in the US?
Yeah, good morning. Anisha, I think it will be the first from the AV group. And if I recall, Novelis was a prime buy in the late 2000s when, Tata's acquired Chorus and there was a big write down. Hindalco was available at 45 rupees after that recent acquisition because of the debt and the overhang. Novelis is a very clean and a very, very prime asset. The aluminium it makes and the type of market it has, I think it should be a very, very big positive for the company. Now, they've also indicated that there will be some more capex which they will be involving. That is why the stock has come lower. But I think it's a good opportunity to buy. Once we know more details on the pricing and the amount, I think there is close to $1 billion which will be raised by the AB group. It could be a long-term positive. And I think I'm extremely positive on commodities as a whole and metals particularly. So we think that this could be a positive news for Hindalco.
Positive news for Hindalco, that's the word coming in from Mr. Bhasin. Surely a one to watch out for there. But what more we are watching out for is the consensus on the trade time extension still eludes. Now, ET now has learned from sources that BSE Brokers Forum has yet not agreed on the proposal for extending market trading hours. Ankur is joining in with us to give us more details on that. Ankur, what's happening on the time extension of trade hours over there?
Yes, unlike what wide anticipation was there, that there is a consensus among brokers for extending the trading hours, what we have learned is that BSE Brokers Forum has yet not given approval for extending the trade time. While on the other hand, you remember that NB had approved the idea of extension of market trading hours, and similarly, another body, CPAI, had given approval. However, we learned that BSE Brokers Forum is yet to discuss the matter in the meeting, and we learned that some of the small brokers are opposing the idea of extension of trading hours. Now, this whole issue is important because Industry Standards Forum, which comprises of BBF, that is BSE Brokers Forum, NME, NSE's Brokers Forum, and CPAI, all these together have to submit the views to the market regulator SEBI by month end, and if it is not approved by BSE Brokers Forum yet, it does not look from outside that all the brokers are in favor of extending the trade time hours. Remember, NSE had proposed the idea of extended trading hours in the evening, and that too in F&O segment. However, it has to be approved by the market regulator. Although market regulator has already given a blanket approval for extension of trading hours till 11:30 p.m. However, whenever this is supposed to be implemented, regulator will see how brokers are going to adjust to it, how other market participants are going to adjust to it. So all in all, BSE Brokers Forum has yet not approved the idea yet, and we need to wait and see if at all finally there is a consensus before the views are supposed to be submitted to the market regulator.
Okay, let's wait for that consensus. Widely anticipated this one as well. Which side will it swing? Will we get those extended trading hours or not? Ankur will surely be on top of story and tell you all of that. But Mr. Bhasin, coming back to our conversation about stocks, Devyani International is going to be in focus on account of that 4.5% stake that Yum Brands might offload today. What would be your recommendation in the QSR space?
Yeah, so first, Anisha, a word on the extension of trading hours. Many years back, I used to trade in Hong Kong. Of course, I was trading the South Korean and the Indian market from participatory notes for Deutsche Bank. And the Hong Kong market used to close twice for lunch break and one for, a general. Even today, the Nikkei closes once. We have apathy. We don't even break for 5 minutes for a lunch break. And we want to keep extension going on for eternity just because the US markets are open. Can you change the geographic factors that the US is 11.5 hours ahead of us? I think ridiculous. If you don't keep work-life balance, then you will actually lose it. In the end, the volume will be the same and all you'll do is increase volatility and increase the pressure on outsiders who will become into this habit of trading in the evening and so on. So I think from my side it's a big no. Coming on Devyani, that is one of our top picks. You cannot have such a big brand trade at this valuation. It is a very good long-term pick. Yes, this overhang of Yum may be one of the opportunities to buy. So I think at 150, it's a clear go ahead and put your money where your mouth is on Devyani. In the end, other FMCG space, we picked up two stocks, and we think these are very, very attractive as a price performance. One is Bata, and the other is Patanjali. The way rural incomes have moved, and particularly in the two-wheeler sector, I think staples are going to do extremely well. Bata as a brand is now arguably the best in the country, and so is Patanjali gaining more and more market space from the likes of Lever. As a disclosure, both these stocks are in our portfolio. We've added it, and Devyani can make a perfect combination for QSR and FMCG, all three put together.
Right, Mr. Bhasin. There's something interesting that has come in is also that we know for a long time that Grasim Industries has spoken about the paint segment, the capex that they're making on that front as well. So overall in the paint industry, how do you see that moving? Obviously, when you look at Asian Paints, Berger Paints, not much has happened in terms of a stock move for them so far. But now also competition coming in, there's increased competition already there. What's your view on the paint sector and what is it that you like here?
Yeah, right, Vinny. So, Grasim, JSW, they have both ventured into this, and they have synergies in the shape of their businesses being in the same model. It has been a very big positive for Grasim, actually, which has outperformed. But I still think Asian Paints with 53% market share in decorative is an expensive stock and will remain. There is going to be a shift of some portfolios where people will, long-term investors may opt to book and get out. But I still think HDFC Bank, Asian Paints are two stocks which, if you are looking for consolidation, which have not done much in the last 2 years, could be the ones which you must own. You cannot have Asian Paint and MRF are two stocks which have never diluted equity. And I think that if MRF is 1.5 lakh, Asian Paint is also set to go higher as earnings catch up. Now, in the short run, you're right, the competition is there. But these paints are like brands like Muthoot. HDFC Bank will not get the gold loan share as much as Muthoot gets. Same is the case with Asian Paints. Trust, brand, and past performance make it a must-have, and that is what stands out for Asian Paint. So we are bullish rather on Asian Paints. We have both Asian Paint and Grasim in our portfolio.
Mr. Bhasin, I wanted your take about Zee as well. Yesterday, that stock was in the upper circuit, that entire news break of perhaps a deal coming back to the table, but now the company has denied it. This morning, there are fresh reports of some $200 million accounting issues that SEBI is investigating. It's becoming a complete roller coaster ride, to say the least.
Yes, like you said, it's a Saas Bahu episode, and you don't know which side of the day or the bed they open up. And rumors all about. I still continue to think once this murkiness is over, if Sony does acquire it, it will be a huge win-win for shareholders, for banks, lending institutions, and for Sony. Now, what comes out of it? These, like you said, every day there is rumor talk of the stock. And the stock is in ban period and you see extreme moves. I still think the value of the asset at 13,000-14,000 is an extremely attractive business to be in India. But like I said, we will wait for more of this, color on the clarity which has to emerge. Yesterday's paper said that within 48 hours you could hear of a deal. Now, we will wait. We are an investor there and we will wait. Anisha, on your other point on the brokerage house of downgrade of two-wheelers, one of the ones which you mentioned, he had come down with a downgrade at 3,200 on Hero Moto, and for a target of 23, it went to 5,000. At 5,000 again, you're coming out with so you missed the real 30%, and now again you come with a downgrade. Somewhere down the line, the stock will correct. Bajaj Auto from 9,000 can come to 8,000, but you missed the woods for the trees. You had no idea what two-wheelers and the comeback was. So always remember, big names are there, but 99% of the time they are mostly wrong. So when they come out with buys and sells, you have to be a little bit contrarian, as was the FI view in November, where 18% long was there. They were 18% long, 88% short, or 82%. And you've seen where the market has gone. So this market is a retail driven market, which is maybe overpriced to an extent, but we should focus more on retail rather than some of the big names which have 99% been proven wrong.
Okay, Mr. Bhasin, thank you so much for joining in with us, giving us your views on Zee as well as the auto pack as well. That's one to watch out for.